Games aren't fast. They make you feel like you're going fast. These two videos are moving at the exact same speed. So why does the one on the right seem faster than the one on the left? It's not because of physics, it's just perception, or the illusion of moving faster. I promise you that the speed is not changing. Video games use so many different tricks to immerse the players inside of them, and in this video, we'll be covering speed. The first trick that video games use is FOV. FOV stands for field of view, and it's a bit of a complicated term to describe, but it basically refers to how wide of a shot the camera has. The bigger your field of view, the more that you can see the edges of the camera, and the smaller your FOV, the less you can see. Some genius decided that if you crank up the FOV while you're moving, it seems like you're moving faster, and it kind of does make sense. Objects in the center of the screen move slowly, but objects near the edges start speeding up as they go off screen, and this gives the illusion of speed. What you also need to do is position the camera a little bit lower to the ground to give a greater sense of speed. I don't know the correct term for this because I did it myself, but changing the camera's field of view as well as positioning the camera lower to the ground just makes everything seem much faster. Most first-person shooters have a camera field of view of about 90 degrees. Humans have a field of view of about 180 degrees, which means we can basically see from all the way to the left to all the way to the right. Well, kinda, that's counting your peripheral vision. I'll give you a basic example. For my Minecraft players, you can crank up the field of view in the settings, and the higher field of view you choose, all the way until Quake Pro, the faster it seems like you're going. And the lower you set it, it just seems like you're chugging along, even though the walking speed is the exact same. This is commonly used in car racing games, like Need for Speed or Asphalt, where the developers adjust the FOV up or down depending on how fast you're going. So I built a small little demo for you guys, since I know y'all don't believe me. Alright, so we now have a video game demo, so I'm going to be applying these tricks to the demo and seeing how they actually make the game look faster. Next trick, Parallax. We've probably heard of the term parallax. It's used a lot in 2D games, specifically 2D side-scrollers or platformers. To explain it in more simple terms for you slow people, objects that are closer to you move faster, and objects that are farther away move slowlier. Slowlier? In 3D games, this means adding more objects near the camera. If you're in a racing game, the game will probably add barriers, light poles, other cars, trees, or just random stuff to make you feel like you're moving faster than you really are. But the moment you remove them, the game will feel so much slower. If nothing is close to the camera, it'll feel like you're barely moving. Another way games add parallax effect is with environmental design. Game worlds are literally crafted to make you feel faster. In racing games, narrow roads can make it seem like you're moving faster than you really are. Imagine racing through an open field with no objects to give you a sense of your relative speed, versus racing down a narrow alleyway. These are completely different feelings. Another trick that video games use to convey the sense of speed is camera shake. We've all seen camera shakes in games, or well, I hope you have at least. In case you're dumb, camera shake is where the camera shakes. Duh. And you can use it for a lot of different things. Like if something explodes, you can have the camera shake to make it look like you can have the camera shake to make it look like the explosion is so much stronger than it actually is. Or sometimes video games have camera shake where you're shooting a gun to make the gun have recoil. And then you can use camera shake to make it seem like you're going faster. Think about it. The faster you are in real life, you're not really going to be standing still, are you? The car, train, plane, or whatever thingamajig you're on is going to be shaking. And finally, sound design. This is another major reason of what makes it seem like you're going faster than you actually are. Let me stop yapping for a moment and I want you to try to listen to what's happening on the screen. Well, through your speaker. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking. You can hear the winds, maybe some whooshing effects to when trees pass, and then something called the Doppler effect, which is when the sound you always hear when an ambulance or police sirens pass, well, probably only in America. The Doppler effect is, to quote our savior Mr. ChatGPT, the Doppler effect is what happens when a wave changes in frequency because of the source of the wave and the observer are moving relative to each other. You experience it most commonly with sound. When an ambulance drives towards you, the siren sounds higher pitched. When it drives away, the siren sounds lower pitched. But yeah, basically these sound effects make the game seem so much faster, and combined with the camera shake, camera positioning, and field of view change, you're basically zooming through space. And finally, the last trick that video games use to make things seem faster than they are is by something known as motion blur, which is what it says, blurring things that are in motion. The faster the thing is moving, the greater the blur it's gonna have, and the slower it is, you guessed it. So say we're moving forward. Actually, I don't need to say, come look at my wonderful demo project that I made just for you. If I turn on the motion blur post-processing effect, you can see that now, the things that move are going to be blurred in the direction that they're moving. And what I said earlier too, the faster that they move, the more blur is going to affect that object. And to add some extra spice, let's add some particle effects, which are otherwise known as visual effects. Particle effects can be things like wind, speed lines if you really like those anime things, which I'm not gonna lie, those are overrated, but they do look cool if you use it sparingly. In Unity, it's stupidly simple to add particles. You literally just create a particle system and change the properties like speed, direction, or whether or not the particle has gravity to create something that you like. Right here you can see I first created some speed lines around my cube to make it look like he's tearing through the terrain, and a dust trail behind him, so it looks like the cube is running, even though he doesn't have legs. It's really just changing the perception of the player, like increasing the field of view to allow objects to take up more space on the screen, positioning the camera closer to the ground to increase the visual parallax, and then boosting the perception of velocity. If you enjoyed this video, here's another video that you might enjoy watching. I also just released my first coding book, so you can check that out here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.